What's up guys, Eric from Sonic. Today we have here a 2014 all the way to 2019 Toyota Tacoma over here, and we are going to be doing another one of these videos where we install our S-Connect plug and play CarPlay Android Auto system. It's all plug and play. We want to show you all the different functions compared to the last video we did. Many years ago, we did do some updated video on the Toyota S-Connect interfaces, but we haven't done one just for this Tacoma. So I'm gonna walk you step by step on how to install it. I'm gonna demonstrate it for you. So let's stop talking, let's go inside the car and get this installed. Before we get started on the install, just quickly, I wanna mention that there are vents in here. It's very difficult to see. There's 4 openings. Make sure you don't block it with any adhesive or any sort of tape because these modules need to breathe. So these are the breathing areas right here at the corners. If you turn it slightly, you'll see that there's an opening. So make sure you don't block those. If you do, you'll end up overheating it. All right guys, so now that we're in the vehicle, let's first get the radio out. So we are going to hold on to this trim right here. There's a lot of areas where you could grip. We're just gonna pull it towards you. It's just only being held by clips. All right, get a good firm hold and just give it a good tug, like so. The next step after we remove this outer trim is to remove these 4 10mm bolts. We got 1, 2, and we also have 2 on the right side, 3 and 4. They are 10mm, and you can either use a ratchet or you can use a power tool like this. All right, and we are going to carefully pull it out, but before we do so, grab a thick blanket, like this moving blanket that we have, and pull it out. You can also use a towel, and just pull it back out, and it'll expose all the wires back here. And the connectors we're gonna be working on today is this one, and also this one here. So let's unplug them. Just press down on the release tab you see right here, and pull out. Don't pull on the wires. You don't want to end up accidentally pulling the wires from the pins. Okay, like that. Push down right here. This one's going to be a little bit tough to remove. Push down. You're going to go left, right, left, right, left, right while pulling out, and then you'll be able to remove it, just like I did right now. So once we have those 3 disconnected, let's grab our plug and play harness. Okay, I undid all the wire ties, so it looks like this. And you'll find those 3 matching connectors. So let's locate them now. And organize these wires and connectors so that they don't tangle up or they don't cross each other as the best as you can. Okay, so here it is. These 3 connectors here. All right, and let's go back behind the radio. Let's start off with the large one. So we're gonna connect our female to the car's male side. Okay, we'll click in like so. Got the male side and connect it inside here. Okay, and then let's continue with the second connector here. So for this one, we'll grab this. Okay, that's the original connector that was in here, and we will locate the matching connector from our harness. Match the key, press in, and the male side will connect here. Just like that. All right, lastly, we will connect this one here. And we will locate it from our harness. It looks like this. Okay, and we'll connect our female connector to the factory male side, just like that. And we'll connect the other side in. Like so, this one right there. The other end of the harness is going to look like this. It's going to be 4 things here, okay? So 1 large connector, 1 2-pin connector. This is for your power, to power up your CarPlay Android Auto module. This is for the power up, and it gives all the other signals that's needed for your dip switch box. And this one here is labeled microphone. It's an auxiliary 3.5mm jack. You have another cable that is 3.5mm jack that is labeled NV17 AUX. This is the audio portion. All right, so we have all these, and let's connect it. We are going first connect it to our dip switch box here. the dip switch configuration should be all on the off position for this Tacoma. Depending on the vehicle you have in the trim, there may be adjustments made on the dip switch box. We are going to pre-configure it for you. Just in case you accidentally end up touching it, there's a label on the bottom here that tells you what the correct dip switch configuration should be. Okay, so take note of that. So let's connect this. We'll connect this one here. Pretty simple. And the only other connection left on this is this HDMI plug here. So in the kit, you will see an HDMI cable and you will connect to it just like that. All right. So this connection is all done. So there's not much connection needed on this, just these two. And this other end will connect to the CarPlay Android Auto module. But before we do that, let me put this aside and let me organize the wires a bit. All right. Going back to the harness here, wires. So now we are left with these three. Okay, I'm gonna start off with the smallest one. This provides power and ground for your CarPlay Android Auto module. And if you look on one side here, there's only one connector that fits it. So let's connect like that. And we're gonna take our two 3.5 millimeter jack. One is going to be labeled AUX. So the AUX will connect to the outmost connector here. And if you look at the bottom of the box, it says line out. Okay, so you're gonna connect to line out. Do not connect to external speaker. If you connect to external speaker, it outputs mono sound, so you're gonna get some distortion if you end up using your auxiliary source. So connect to line out. And just as a side note, the new systems, ever since early this year, all the audio gets routed through the car's Bluetooth, so it doesn't really matter, but just in case you want to switch the audio source to auxiliary on the car's infotainment system, you want to use the line out. And next we have the microphone jack here. You're going to connect to mic in, okay, right here. It's right next to the USB plug. All right, and we've got a few more connectors here left. Next, let's connect our Wi-Fi Bluetooth antenna. Looks like this. This provides the connection between this CarPlay Android Auto module to your phone, wireless connection. And this is the antenna that extends the range. And next, we have this USB connector here. There's two options for this USB. The first default option is using the supplied USB extension cable. So this is the USB extension cable. That's how it looks. And we're gonna route this somewhere in your car cabin so that you can access it from your driver's side. So this acts as wired CarPlay, wired Android Auto, and also charges your phone at 2.1 amps. And so this is what it does. And if you use this USB extension cable directly to our CarPlay Android Auto module box, you will not lose the factory USB function. So what is the factory USB function good for? It's good for loading MP3 audio files and playing it through the car's infotainment system, or you can connect your iPhone directly to the USB plug and you'll be able to play through the car infotainment system, direct plug-in of your phone for the iPhone. It won't work for Android phones, but it's a function from the Toyota radio for you to use your iPhone as a media player and play directly. So if you don't want to lose those functions of the factory USB, you want to use this. And what's good about using this additional extension cable is, although you have one more cable just coming out, you now have one additional cable that charges your phone. So if you have a passenger that wants to charge his or her phone as well, now you have an additional USB. Okay, so those are the advantages of using this, just a default USB extension cable that comes with all the kits. It's no additional charge. If you want to purchase this as an add-on option, this is the USB adapter. And this one, the advantage of this is just cleaner. So your factory USB plug becomes this wired CarPlay Android Auto, also charged at 2.1 amps. So this is what that does, but you will lose the factory USB function. So once again, the factory USB function is a direct connection from your iPhone to play audio in your factory infotainment system, or you can load the USB with some MP3 files to be able to play some audio directly from your USB stick to the car infotainment system. For us personally, because we don't want to lose any of the car's factory functions, we like using the USB extension cable, but many people prefer keeping everything factory look very, very clean. Then they'll use this, okay? Then they could use this for wired CarPlay Android Auto and charging your phone, but you'll lose your factory USB. And with this, where do you route this to? You can route it to inside your glove box, or you can route it just behind any panel, wherever you like. If you don't mind drilling a hole, you can go all the way to your center console and bring it on there. But for us, we don't like drilling holes, making new holes, so we'll just route this on the bottom where it's easily accessible from the driver's side. I'll show you how to do it, all the way down to the side panel. So we'll do that in a bit. If you want to use this, let me show you how it installs. So instead of using this USB extension cable in here, you will plug this short USB adapter. And where does the other side go in? The other side goes in here. Go behind the radio. If you look down on this row, on the second row, you see this gray plug here. It's square. Press down, remove it. Okay, just like that. And then this other side of our adapter just connects like so. Okay, so if you look at the connection, it goes from the CarPlay Android Auto module, USB plug, to the adapter, to the factory USB cable, and the factory USB cable goes directly to the USB plug that is under the radio. So that's how it works. All right, and if you do order this, you will get a supplemental instructions on how to connect this. But just in case you missed that, this is how you do it. And for this customer, once again, we're gonna just use a USB extension cable. So I'm gonna unplug this, I'm gonna unplug this, not use this. I'm going to plug this back in to the factory radio. All right, and then I'm just going to connect the USB extension cable from here and route this other side of the USB cable down to the driver's side. Okay, and for some Toyota vehicles, you know this gray plug here, it's not here. It could be on the right side, it could be on the bottom. So just keep a lookout, but they all look the same. They're all gray and they're all squared and they stash shaped. All right, so just keep an eye on that. All right, so the last connection we are going to do is to connect the two boxes together. All right, so we got a dip switch box. This is a video interface. We have the CarPlay Android Auto module, and these two are connected with this HDMI cable like that. All right, so this finishes the connection between our CarPlay module, the video interface, and also the car's radio. All right, so next, what do we want to do? We want to route our USB cable. We also want to find a place for our RF antenna and route it and mount it. And after we do that, we will organize all the wires, and there's plenty of room behind the radio, and we're gonna mount it back there. You could use some double-sided tape or some foam tape, whatever you prefer. So let's route this USB, okay? I'm gonna unplug it from the box side just so I have more length. I don't want my box getting pulled. So I'm gonna go from the left, and I'm gonna go back and find it here, and I'm gonna tuck it over here to the left right here, okay? So I'm gonna grab this, go from behind the radio. All right, go here. I see an opening, I see light down there, and I'm just gonna push it through, and I'm gonna catch it with my left hand. It's pretty easy to do actually on this car. And here it is, right? Very easy. I'm gonna tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in, and there it is right there. Okay, if you need it, it's right there. All right, and next, we are going to route our RF antenna. We're gonna go through the same route, and we are going to tuck this behind here as well. This one has a double-sided tape. You can't use that if you want to tape it behind here. Okay, so we're gonna go through the same route. Okay, here it is. There's double-sided tape, and we can go behind here, and we can stick it on here like this, okay? And we're gonna tuck in the wires here so you don't see it. All right, so I am going to peel the adhesive. Oh, you can also, if you don't want to peel the adhesive, you can also go under this carpet and put it against the center area. So here, let me peel this. And just to make sure it will never come out, I'm gonna go under the carpet. I'm gonna go here, and I'm going to tuck it in right there. All right, here's the wires, cables. Okay, then pull it here. There it is. Also going to pull on the USB. All right, and there it is. Very easy. All right, okay, and that side is done. And let me go back here. So here it is. Let me reconnect these two cables and connectors back to our CarPlay Android Auto module, just like so. All right, so all the connection done, everything is done. And next, we want to organize all these wires and cables. We have a lot more wires than we need for this car. It's long. We purposely did it because the same kit is compatible with other Toyota models, and some vehicles actually need the full length because everything doesn't fit behind the radio. So I'm gonna use some zip ties. I am going to use some foam tape and organize everything. So I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, so I took some time organizing the wires and cables. As you can see here, I used a lot of zip ties here, just keep them all organized from this module and also from this interface here, and because we don't need too much. And we're going to just tuck it in back there. Okay? There's some room. If you push the factory harness forward, there's a little opening down there, so let's do that. We also covered it with some foam tape around the edges. Once again, keep these vent holes open. Okay, there's 4 here, and there's also 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, keep them open. When you're installing these 2 boxes inside, mounting it, one of the most issues that customers experience is these HDMI connection points here. Okay, the head is pretty big, right? So it becomes a very easy target for things to get pressed on it and pushed out. So when that happens, this will dislodge and break. So be very, very careful with these, because if these break off and if the inside circuit board dislodges, then it won't be repairable, and these boxes are very expensive. So be very, very careful with these 2 HDMI cable points. Okay. 2 boxes fit in there pretty well. There's a little bit of an opening down here, right behind, right under. Fits there perfectly. Okay, next, let's carefully organize factory wires and cables. Okay, and everything should go back in without any issues. And if you notice in this Tacoma, like right behind the radio, I don't have the boxes, and that prevents for any of the parts on the boxes to get broken. Okay, and if things get tight when pushing your harness in, just move your cabling around a bit. Okay, you can move it off to the side a little bit. But if you feel something hard that's blocking the radio from going in, then you want to pull it out and reorganize your wires. All right, cool. Looks like everything is in, all the holes are lined up. So let's screw our 10mm back in. All right, looks good. And the next step is to pop this back in. All right. And let's go through our checks. Okay, let's go do a quick check here. Let's make sure everything. Push and hold the hang up button. Take you into the CarPlay screen. Okay, looks like everything's working. Terrific. Alright guys, so we just finished installing our plug-and-play S-Connect CarPlay Android Auto interface for this 2014 and 2019 Toyota Tacoma. Let me show you guys how everything works and how to set everything up from the beginning. So let's first turn on the car. Okay, and we get this question all the time. Does your factory backup camera continue to work? And yes, it does. So let me show you a sample. There it is, your backup camera. Bring it back and it comes back to your factory screen. And it continues to work even while you're in CarPlay or Android Auto mode. So first, you want to make sure your phone is connected to the car's Bluetooth, because now our audio routes to the car's Bluetooth. So how to do that? Go to your Bluetooth audio. Let's go add. All right, and screen will show that. Screen, go to your phone, go to settings, go to Bluetooth, go to other device down here. There's Toyota Tacoma. Let's connect to it. Okay, I'm not gonna sync my favorites and contacts because it's not my car. Okay, so I want to keep the audio source to Bluetooth. As long as your phone is connected to Bluetooth, audio source Bluetooth, next time you turn on the car, it's gonna be in Bluetooth, okay? So once you're there, let's go to the car steering wheel, and to switch it over to the CarPlay screen, we are going to push and hold the phone hang up button right here. Push and hold. And which will switch the screen over to this 3 icon screen right here. And this is when we go back to your phone. So earlier we tested our phone by connecting wired down here, okay? And if you connect your phone via wired like this before setting your phone with wireless CarPlay, the phone will register this CarPlay as a wired CarPlay, and the wireless CarPlay will not show up here. So just keep that in mind. So for example, so you're gonna go to settings, and we went to general, and we went to CarPlay. So if you first connect it wired, it's not gonna show up as wireless CarPlay down here. So just make a note of that. If you're, for some reason, you are not able to connect your phone wirelessly to this device, it's because before it had the chance to register, you already connected wired. Okay, so there it is. Let's go ahead and connect it. Okay, the passkey is going to show up. Make sure it matches to what is shown on the phone screen. Okay, and press the connect. And just give it a few seconds, and then there it is. There is our Apple CarPlay. You're gonna get some props on here, so go ahead and say yes to them, so everything functions normally. All right, and after that, you can lock your phone. So let's go back to the screen. For some of you, you guys might notice that the screen resolution is a little bit difficult to see. So what you can do to help fix that is change your map to night mode. So we went ahead and changed it on Google Maps. If you like to use different maps like Apple Maps, you can also change this to night mode as well. So you go to settings, and we change the appearance to always dark, always show dark maps, and right here. So there's more contrast between the street lines and also the street names. All right, and if you want to go to Waze, you also can change that as well, okay? If you want to change the background, you can change to a darker background so that there's more contrast as well. And we can also make some adjustments with the factory backup camera settings to show more clearly. So how we do that, let's press and hold the hang up button on the steering wheel. It'll switch the screen back to the factory screen, and then select home and select the settings, and then go to display and go to camera, and there it is. Everything is right at the center. So we're gonna lower the contrast a little bit. Okay, by lowering the contrast, it does darken it up a little bit. So I lightened it up by increasing the brightness. And if you make these adjustments, check your backup camera. Make sure your backup camera still looks good too, which it does. All right, and let me continue on. And let me show you how all this functions. So let's play some music. All right, and just to let you know, the volume level on your phone also affects the volume level of the audio because we are connected to the car's Bluetooth from your phone. So there it is. And you can also adjust the volume from here and also from the steering wheel. Okay. And just to let you know, you will not see the volume level change on the screen, but as you can hear, these are working. These controls continue to work. And if you want to use the next and rear track, next and previous track, you can press the screen on the button, or you can also press these buttons on the steering wheel. Up, down, down, up, up. Very responsive, very fast. So this is about our audio music level. Let's test the Siri volume. So press and hold this. What's the weather? Okay, it's a little quiet. So how to increase the Siri volume level? Let me show you how to do that. Go to your phone. We are going to summon Siri from the side button. You may have to turn on this function. And right when the bubble comes out, you can increase it. So that's your Siri volume right there. All right. And if you have a difficult time doing this, you can also, on your settings, go to your settings, go to sound and haptics, and you can do it from this screen here. And make sure this change with buttons is turned on. All right. So, what's the weather?
It's currently clear and 58 degrees. Temperatures.
Okay, and there's a second way to summon Siri, which is pressing and holding the phone call button here. What's the weather?
It's currently clear and 58 degrees.
All right, and let's try calling myself here. Phone coming. All right, testing. Okay, I hear myself, it's working. I don't want to talk too loud because it's going to create echo. And you can also hang up the button using the steering wheel control. Okay, and if I get a phone call, you'll be able to pick up using the steering wheel control as well. There it is. Press this to pick up. Test, 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 test. Okay, and hang up. There it is. And if anytime you want to go back to your native system, you can press and hold the hang up button. It'll take you back to your native screen. And if you have an Android phone, the process is the same. It works exactly the same. The only difference is when you first pair your phone to the car system or our wireless Android Auto, you do it a different way. You'll go to settings and you'll go to the Bluetooth, okay? And then you will turn on your Bluetooth, detect it, and connect it from here. Just don't forget to connect your phone's Bluetooth to both the car's Bluetooth and also our device Bluetooth. So the phone's gonna be connected to Bluetooth devices at the same time. And so that's the biggest difference between the two. So on the iPhone, make sure you're always connecting from the CarPlay menu, okay? Not the Bluetooth menu. So there's the Bluetooth menu here. Make sure you don't connect it from here, and make sure you really don't connect it from your Wi-Fi, because that will interfere your order of operation that needs to take place for a successful and stable wireless CarPlay connection. Okay, so once again, settings, general CarPlay, and then connect. And then for the Android, you will connect it in the Bluetooth setting. All right. And when you want to switch the phones, you will want to turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on the phone that is connected, and then turn on Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on the new phone that you want to connect to. So like for example, you want to switch over from iPhone to an Android, say that you have two phones like me, you will turn off Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in the settings menu. Don't turn off with the shortcut. Using the shortcut menu item, it won't turn it off all the way. It'll still keep some functions on. So make sure you turn it off from the settings, and then on the Android system as well, make sure you turn off from the setting when you're switching phones. All right, guys, well, that concludes our installation demonstration video of our S-Connect plug-and-play CarPlay Android Auto system for this 2014 all the way to 2019 Toyota Tacoma. The same exact kit is compatible with other Toyota Select models from 2014 all the way to 2019, depending on the vehicle model and trim. So yeah, same product works for a bunch of other vehicles. As you guys can see, it is very, very easy to install. It's all plug and play. It's very seamless. You do not have to change out your factory radio. You could retain as is. if you end up changing your factory radio to an aftermarket one, it could be a lot of work, it could be a lot of headache just to keep all the factory functions working, like the factory steering wheel controls, factory backup camera, and all the vehicle information on the factory screen can be difficult to be retained if you're using an aftermarket radio. So by keeping the factory radio in place, everything just works really well. So if you are looking for an easy CarPlay or Android Auto interface for your Toyota Tacoma or other Toyota models, here it is. Give it a try, the S-Connect interface, and I guarantee you guys will like it. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below, or you can email us at info@bsonicusa.com. And once again, guys, thank you for all your support. And if you could help us by giving us that like and subscribe button, we'll greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on the next video.